Okay, want to unlock the ultimate insider hack for real estate investing and deep dive property research? We are talking about completely free access to public property records. Whether you're hunting for your next investment property, trying to verify the history of a home you're thinking about buying, or maybe just doing some neighborhood sleuthing, having direct access to county databases gives you a massive, massive advantage. And honestly, the best part, it doesn't cost a single dime. So let's dive into this explainer and get started. Here's the thing. The crucial point is that this incredibly powerful knowledge, we're talking ownership details, taxes, transaction histories, it's all readily accessible for free, provided you know exactly where to look. A lot of people just assume they need some super expensive third-party subscription to get this kind of granular data. But nope, local governments actually maintain and provide this information directly to the public. You just need to know how to navigate their specific systems. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover 1. Why search property records? 2. The two Chesterfield counties. 3. Navigating the search interfaces. 4. Conducting searches and interpreting. 5. Advanced tools and alternatives. And 6. Summary, tips, and disclaimers. Let's get right into it. Section 1. Why search property records? Listen. Local government databases are essentially a goldmine hiding in plain sight. You can find the true legal owner of a property, track exactly what it sold for 10 years ago versus last year, see the current tax burden, and even verify things like building materials, outbuildings, and exact square footage. For anyone making informed real estate decisions, this is absolutely your foundational data. Plus, mastering this means you completely bypass those premium third-party sites that try to charge you for public information. Win-win, right? Section 2. The two Chesterfield counties. Okay, plot twist. You absolutely must identify your target right out of the gate, because Chesterfield County, Virginia and Chesterfield County, South Carolina operate on completely different administrative and technological systems. Seriously, they are totally different. Virginia's Chesterfield is a dense suburban county near Richmond that uses the Reed database and the circuit court clerk for records. South Carolina's Chesterfield, on the other hand, is a northern border county that uses the Springbrook Assessor Portal and a Register of Deeds. If you mix these up, you're going to be searching for hours and get zero results. Section 3. Navigating the search interfaces. So keeping these differences straight is going to save you a massive headache. Notice how for structural data in Virginia, you've got to head to the Reed database, but in South Carolina, you use the Springbrook Assessor Portal. For maps, Virginia uses a dedicated GIS parcel viewer, while South Carolina relies on the WTH GIS map. Understanding these specific portal names is literally half the battle when you're trying to navigate these county websites without getting hopelessly lost. Now, before you type in a single address, you need the property's unique identifier. To successfully query these databases, a street address just isn't always enough. You're going to need the PIN, that's the parcel identification number if you're looking in Virginia, or the APN, the assessor parcel number for South Carolina. Think of it like a social security number for a piece of land. Getting this number first ensures you pull the exact correct record, avoiding tons of confusion if there are similarly named streets or split parcels. Section 4. Conducting searches and interpreting. Let's walk through a live hypothetical workflow for Virginia properties in places like Midlothian or Chester. You just follow 3 really logical steps. First, open the free GIS parcel viewer, type in the address, click the property on the map, and extract that PIN we just talked about. Second, take that PIN right over to the Reed database to effortlessly pull up the structural data and sales history. Finally, if you want to verify the deed was legally recorded, just take the transaction date from the Reed database and search the Circuit Court Clerk's free SRI index. Boom! Done. What is honestly super cool about Virginia's Reed database is the sheer volume of structural and transaction history you get on one single, easy-to-read page. You can instantly see if a basement is finished, what year the property was actually built, and check out a chronological list of transfer dates and sale prices. It's an absolute goldmine for tracking the market movement of a specific property over time. All right, let's contrast that with the South Carolina workflow. It's a bit of a different beast. You still start with the map, their WTGIS portal, to get your APN. Then you hit the Springbrook portal for assessment details. But step 3, that requires a very specific detour to verify recent sales due to a highly unique quirk in their state system. This brings us to a major pitfall in South Carolina. Because of the December 31st tax control date mandated by state law, the online assessor records experience a massive time lag. Basically, if someone buys a house in February, the assessor's portal might not even reflect that new ownership until the following calendar year. If you rely only on the assessor portal, you could be looking at totally outdated ownership details for months. So, How do you bypass this lag like an absolute pro? It's simple. You skip the assessor portal for recent transactions entirely. Instead, take your APN and check the QPayBill Online Tax Payment Center. The Treasurer's database reflects real-time tax bill payments, meaning it updates much faster with current owner details. It is such a clever way to verify a recent sale before the assessor's office ever catches up. Section 5. Advanced Tools and Alternatives. Now, Virginia's GIS and zoning tools offer some incredibly powerful map layers. You aren't just looking at flat, boring property lines. You can toggle on high-resolution aerial photography, check for environmental resource protection areas, or even reveal if a property is in a special tax district, like the Lower Magnolia Green Community Development Authority. You can even use their case information application to see active zoning changes. That is huge because those changes can directly affect the property's future value.
And it's a similar story for South Carolina. Their WTGIS mapping portal is completely free and requires 0 software subscriptions. It lets you visually analyze water channels, local administrative boundaries, and exact parcel lines instantly. It's highly interactive too, letting you search just by street intersections to get a real feel for an entire neighborhood layout before you ever have to visit in person.
But hey, what if you hit a dead end or you actually need to read the fine print of a legal deed? Just be aware that while searching the indexes to verify a transaction took place is almost always free, actually printing or downloading the official legal document images from the Virginia Clerk or the South Carolina Register of Deeds might require a minor per-page fee or a daily subscription. But honestly, for about 90% of your research, that free index confirmation is all you're really going to need. And that brings us to Section 6. Summary, tips, and disclaimers. All right, let's quickly recap with an ultimate cheat sheet. First, always double-check your state. Are you in Virginia or South Carolina? Second, always start with the map to grab your parcel number first. If you are in South Carolina, remember to use those tax payment portals to double-check recent sales so you can beat that system lag. And finally, cross-reference your findings across the assessment databases and the deed indexes just to ensure you have the full picture. Of course, we've got to cover some quick ground rules before you go off researching. While this data is incredibly useful and publicly available, it is strictly provided as is. These online assessment records are absolutely not a legal substitute for an official title search. Discrepancies happen all the time. If you are making a major financial transaction, always verify critical information with legal counsel or a title company. And above all, always respect individual privacy and make sure you're using this data ethically and responsibly. So you are fully armed with the right tools, the correct portals, and the exact step-by-step workflows. Now I've got to ask, what hidden insights are you going to uncover in your local property records today? The data's out there, it's totally free, and it is just waiting for you to find it. Happy researching, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.